Yo, this is Fling with DFS Army, and this is your Week 10 cash lineup review. All right, normally we like to start with the $25 single entry double up on Fantasy Labs, but I was not able to find it this week anywhere on the main. So we'll go ahead and get right into the chalkboard. Brock Purdy, he was the top owned guy, and he was in a great spot. So this was chalk. We were really wanting to eat much more than Sam Darnold, just because, Sam Darnold will just reveal himself as he normally does. And that's what he did. 3 picks. He was pretty terrible. Brock Purdy was a much safer play, specifically with Christian McCaffrey returning to the lineup. You know, him being a running back they can lean on. They can throw the ball to him out of the backfield. He's a receiver as well. So, this was the top play, getting, double the ownership of Darnold, and the guy we really liked is our cash game quarterback. Over at running back, Aaron Jones was getting the most ownership. I didn't get it as much. I liked Kamara and Bijan better, and you'll see that they were core plays for me. Bijan smashed. Kamara dropped what was like a 50 to 60 yard wide open touchdown, and he would have smashed as well, but didn't get quite smashed. Missing that opportunity, but still had a pretty decent day for cash. Breece Hall didn't like it. The Jets team, they're just kind of in disarray. So I didn't like that chalk. We ended up fading that chalk. Wasn't in consideration. DeAndre Swift, that was chalk that we thought was good chalk given the matchup, but the Chicago Bears are just a disaster. So, that one didn't work out, but he didn't make it into my cash lineup anyway. I like James Conner better. And, all these plays I think were the top 5-6 plays here. Most of them we had identified as pretty good plays. And, there wasn't really, I guess, specifically with Aaron Jones. You still could have played Aaron Jones, based on the matchup and, him getting the highest ownership on the slate. You still could have played him in cash. But I really liked Alvin Kamara, Bijan Robinson, and James Conner here. And then a wide receiver, pretty weird week to not see, guys like Justin Jefferson or Drake London at the top, and really seeing Josh Downs, Khalil Shakir, but we understood it. We like Downs with Pittman being out. We like Shakir with Amari Cooper, and Keon Coleman being out. So, this was chalk we were definitely willing to eat. I ate the Hopkins chalk in cash because I knew he didn't need to do much in cash to get there. That was an easy fade for us in tournaments, and, he definitely did not get there in tournaments either. Viable for cash, bad for tournaments going against Patrick Surtain. Adonai Mitchell was the value guy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We like Jawan Jennings as well. Noah Brown was a value guy. These were guys that were obviously on the chalkboard and in decent spots. But yeah, it's pretty well spelled out for you. At tight end, Kittle, guys like Kittle are always going to get the highest ownership, and he was a good play. But you really want to look for those value spots, the Jawan Johnsons, the Will Disleys of the world. For your cash game lineup, you typically want to pay down at tight end and defense and or play the chalk, and that's exactly what we did. We'll go right into my cheat sheet, and then we'll finish up with my cash lineup. See how it did. But my guy was Purdy this week. I like Jalen Hurts as well, but I just felt like the lineup with Purdy in it made a lot more sense at 6,500. It was a really good spot for him going against a Tampa Bay defense that had just been gashed. Team after team that played him was able to gash them. So I loved Purdy. And then Kamara and Bijan Robinson, given the ownership, given the spots, these were 2 guys I had to have in my lineup, specifically Bijan. But I was good with Kamara as well, just because I really thought he would get a lot of targets. Ended up getting there with targets, but still had a pretty decent day for cash. Aaron Jones was obviously viable in a good spot, projecting well, going against a terrible Jacksonville team. Same thing with Swift. He honestly had the best rushing matchup on the slate, but Chicago Bears offense is just a mess. So nowhere near close to the day we thought he might have. And then, I knew there was paths to failure for DeAndre Swift. James Conner was just a guy that I trusted more. So he's who I went with in my lineup. He projected a little higher. And that's one of the great things about the DFS Army cheat sheet, the domination station, our projection system is just being able to split hairs. And we see two guys similarly priced. And I know one has just a safer floor in James Conner, and he projects better. I'm going to play him 9 times out of 10, and it ended up working out for me in this spot. Now, Justin Jefferson wasn't a great matchup. That's why he was in cash consideration, but he didn't make my cash lineup, and it ended up working out. And the reason being is I liked Kamara and I liked Bijan, and I just wasn't going to be able to afford fitting Justin Jefferson in the lineup as well. Like I said, Downs, Shakir, those were the top 2 owned guys. I loved them given the injuries in their offenses and the game environment. So playing at least one of these guys was very important for me. I wanted to lean Shakir a little bit more, but I think it really could have gone either way. And then, like I said, Hopkins and then Noah Brown was the value guy, but Hopkins, I think it wasn't the best play, but process wise, he was going to get targeted even with Surtain on him, and he wasn't going to need to do a whole lot to make cash value, and that's what he did. And the domination station was pushing him in my lineup, and that's where I ended up. And Bears, for example, they were a top fantasy points per dollar play. They were also the chalk, so that was chalk that I was willing to eat. And because almost 30% of the field played him, it didn't really matter at the end of the day when they failed. And this was actually an incredible week for me in cash. I won all 50 of my head-to-heads in cash this week. Didn't lose a single one. And, when you feel like you didn't actually crush like every call and you still were able to, win all of your head-to-heads, that's a great cash week. So like I said, I had Purdy as my top quarterback, and I just love the lineup with him as quarterback versus Jalen Hurts this week. Kamara and Bijan were cores to me. Kamara, if he catches that 50-yard bomb, he's scoring. I mean, that's what, 6, that's plus 5, that's 11. Plus he probably would have hit the bonus. That's another 14. So yeah, he's almost at 30 points there. And, great cores for both of them. But he didn't catch it. That's fine. We don't need him to catch it to win in cash. It's not a tournament. So we're just trying to beat half the field. And 15 points was more than enough between him and Bijan. How they produce together, more than enough for cash games. Shakir, 11 points at 6,000. Love that. Hopkins, 9 points at 5,300. Perfectly fine. Adonai Mitchell really brought it home. 3,400, 13 points. Juwan Johnson, the DS, the domination station. I trust in Jesus. In Jesus, we trust. It was giving me him in as a paydown option who is projecting well. So I just went with it. And I loved Connor in my lineup. Like I said, I liked the lineup with him more than Swift. That's what the DS was giving me. So I went ahead and rolled with that. Bears D, the chalk defense. So, really good cash week. By the way, guys, if you want access to the chalkboard, if you're struggling in cash, okay, and you just say, let's try something different. Let's try DFS Army. You can try for a week. In fact, it's 50% off for your first week, or 50% off your first month with code VIP50 at checkout. I will put the link in the video description. But you don't have to struggle. The chalkboard helps. It's a guide. I do a weekly cheat sheet and a breakdown video giving all my thoughts before the slate on Friday for our DFS Army VIPs. And then we talk in the Discord. Sunday morning, I put my final thoughts on the Discord on the slate. Who are the pay-up guys that we really want to put in our lineup? Who is the good chalk that we can't build our cash lineup without? Where are the values that we're looking for on the slate? Any last-minute news, like a couple weeks ago, Eckler, 90 minutes before lock, being declared as a starter with Brian Robinson Jr. out. That's something we put in the Discord. He's now cash viable. So this is this breaking news last minute news that we relay to you in the Discord. This is a part of being a DFS Army VIP, having access to all these tools. Check it out. If you don't like it, you can cancel. But first week, half off your first week. So it's like $12 for your first week, like $44.99 for your first month. Code VIP50. Check it out. By the way, if you like this kind of content, let us know. Hit that like button. Let us know how cash is going for you this season. And, of course, we will see you on another episode next week.
Big time, knowing that diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine.